Good evening and welcome to Centerpoint this evening. I'm Lyndsay Keith. We begin tonight with President Trump likely facing a third criminal indictment as he runs for president. Today, he announced that his lawyers have received a letter from special counsel Jack Smith informing them that Mr. Trump is a target in their investigation of election interference and the events of January 6th. These target letters usually mean a criminal indictment is imminent. Mr. Trump called the expected indictment a witch hunt and a complete and total political weaponization of law enforcement. We're joined now by Representative Jeff Van Drew, Republican of New Jersey and a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Van Drew, welcome to the show. Good to see you this evening, sir.
It's good to be with you, Lyndsay. Thank you.
Okay, so many Republicans are already out, many also on the House Judiciary calling this a witch hunt, saying this is weaponization of the government. What do you say?
Oh, they're absolutely right. This is weaponization, politicization, and just corruption. I mean, all the minions of the Democrats at every level are going to make it their business and their goal in life to destroy this man. I mean, this is nonsense, and it really should stop. But it won't stop. And thank God President Trump is somebody who's so strong and so resilient that he can weather and bear through this more than just about anybody else. But, you know, it's a shame for our country that we're spending our resources, our time, and our energy on something like this. They are deathly afraid that this man is going to win the presidency of the United States. And why are they deathly afraid? Because they know he even knows a lot more now than he did in the first term. He's going to bring the country back. He's going to make the country stronger. He's going to close the borders. He's going to make our police really feel like police again, make our military strong. I could just go through a host of things that are going to happen, make the economy strong, most importantly, stop this terrible inflation and high interest rates at the same time. But what they're concerned about is he's going to crack open this rotten egg called Washington, D.C., which in all honesty now, in the 5 years I've been here, every year I find out more and more that much of it is a cesspool. He's going to drain it out. He's going to clean it and make it worthy of the American people that elect us.
You're a former Democrat. Are there any Democrats in Congress who also see this as weaponization of government, or is this a partisan issue?
It's a partisan issue generally. There are a few Democrats when they are alone with you and they speak to you and they're not being recorded will say, yeah, enough's enough. And you know what? If you don't want President Trump to be president, then we should have a good and healthy and free election. And that's the way to do it. You change things through elections. And if he's not the right person, President Trump won't win. But they're afraid he will win because he will win. And so Democrats will tell you privately, a few, the more conservative ones, there aren't many of them left. Let me tell you, the Democratic Party is a nationalist socialist party now. It's not the Democratic Party we used to know. I didn't even leave the Democratic Party. It left me, and I absolutely would never want to be part of it and what it represents. But the truth is, the Democrats that feel, maybe this isn't so good to do, they don't have the guts, and they're afraid. They're literally afraid. That's the society we live in now. If you have a conservative opinion or a different opinion, an opinion that, you know, literally the other side doesn't want to hear, they're going to punish you. They're going to punish you somehow. They're going to punish you with the media. They're going to punish you personally. They're going to punish you with either the FBI or the IRS or the Department of Justice or a host of the other agencies. Many of these agencies have become the political arm of the Democratic Party. We've never ever seen anything like it.
So President Trump is calling for this indictment and previous indictments to be moved till after the election. Do you think that that's something that should happen, that it should be pushed till after the election?
It's reasonable. Frankly, they just should be dismissed. But they want to hold up as much of his time. They don't want him to campaign. They don't want him to have rallies. They want to besmirch his character in any way they can. They'll do anything they can to stop him. And I mean anything. We're not done yet. There's going to be more indictments, more. I mean, look at New York, what New York City did. That's absurd for New York City, still just a municipality, to go after the president in this way. This is a really shameful time in our history. And I'm ashamed, literally, I'm ashamed of the Democratic Party for pushing for these kinds of things and literally saying it's a good thing and it's the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do.
As I mentioned, Congressman, you are on the House Judiciary Committee. Last week, we saw the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, testify before your committee. There were a lot of topics that you hit him on. One of them was the fact that the FBI was looking into Catholics to see if they were terrorists of some form. And also, we saw them looking into parents who were standing up for their children. What is going to happen after this hearing? What is the next step from your committee?
We're going to continue on with this, and we're going to find him in contempt of Congress if he doesn't get us the necessary documents. And like I said during that hearing, don't tell me that's national security. They send us a few documents about, let all your listeners and viewers understand, they were going to put undercover agents in Roman Catholic churches. I mean, you've got to be kidding me, especially traditional conservative Roman Catholic churches. So I asked him, are you, and he really had a tough time with the questions because I don't think he was being truthful, and he was sworn under oath. But do you have lists of churches? Do you have lists of Roman Catholic churches, evangelical churches, Greek Orthodox churches, synagogues? I just went through a whole list, and he got really flustered for a while. And I think he knew that he was between a rock and a hard place. So I think he fibbed, and it's more than a fib, it's a lie. I think he lied. And I think he just was so cornered, he didn't know what else to do because he knew the aggravation he would get. If it didn't come out to the public, understand this, if it didn't come out to the public and the public was aware of what they were doing in Catholic churches, thank God for whistleblowers and others who make this information available, it would be going on and we wouldn't even know about it. God knows what is going on that we don't know about it. And parents, here's a real difference between Republicans and Democrats and what the future could bring. We are, quite frankly, just like extreme socialists do and communists, saying that the government, school government, local government, federal government has more power and importance over your children than you ever do as a parent. They resent when parents love their children and want to know what they're learning in school because, quite frankly, they're not learning things that they should in many school systems, and they literally are being taught about all kinds of inappropriate material at very young ages, and it destroys the character of the nation. But that's what these folks want. They want to change the very substance and structure of the nation we know as the United States of America. This is really bad stuff, for real. This isn't a disagreement about just, the normal things back and forth. Not disagreement about a spending bill. This is way bigger and way badder than anything we've ever seen in our history in this nation.
Congressman, before we let you go, I do want to ask you about this because you're also on the House Transportation Committee where you all are trying to get a bill to the floor this week on the FAA. We've seen a lot of issues with air travel this year and last year. They're continued. What can you leave us with, a little maybe glimmer of hope that this bill has something in it to help fix the air traffic issues that we've been seeing?
Well, what this bill does is the FAA has a lot of good people and there are a lot of smart people there, but it's a really very old system of functioning where they don't, and I don't mean to use these terms, but it's the only terms I can use for this, horizontally and vertically integrate. That means the same people right now, we just have vertical integration, are talking to the same people and not expanding. We should get more cutting edge folks in there, and they all should be talking to each other at multiple levels about the very issues you talk to. It is shameful in the United States of America how our system is deteriorated in multiple ways. I mean, literally, I was talking to a friend of mine who's in business, and he's been in business a lot of years, and he said that literally there's a 50% holdup now every time he goes. 50% of the time his plane is held, they leave late, they have problems, they're circling in the air, they don't land when they're supposed to, they don't leave when they're supposed to, and we gave them billions of dollars. So money isn't the only answer. We have to hold them accountable. This legislation we're pushing through does that, and also creates more of a conversation within the FAA how to do this much better and not just do the same old thing, this integration I talked about. And I think that's really going to be helpful.
All right, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, appreciate your time this evening. Good to see you, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.